Hi, I'm Karen DeBoer, Creative Resource Developer for the CRCNA's Faith Formation Ministries team. It can be confusing and time-consuming to sort through all of the available options when you're selecting a curriculum for your church. The 10-question tool for choosing children's ministry curriculum was designed to simplify the process and, more importantly, to help you select a theologically sound, faith-nurturing curriculum that will engage the head, heart, and hands of your children. The tool is free, and you can download it at crcna.org/faithformation/resources. Before you begin using it with your team, we suggest you do the following. First, pick that team. It's really important to include the perspectives of others in the selection process. So in addition to the children's ministry coordinator and some children's ministry leaders, you'll want to include a member of your church education committee, a professional educator, and at least one person with theological training. In fact, we strongly encourage you to include the pastor as part of this process and have the pastor review the theological approach which the curriculum is taking. Next, you want to check your vision. Read through your congregation's plan for faith formation and your church vision statement, and then consider how those align with your children's ministry. If you don't have a faith formation program goal and you'd like assistance in developing one, feel free to contact us at Faith Formation Ministries. We'd be happy to help with that. Next, you want to gather curriculum samples. Like anything else you buy, it's important to look beyond the marketing message and see what's really inside the package. So get samples. Ideally, a complete unit at each level, along with a list of all the stories that are told and when they are told. Once you've picked your team, figured out your faith formation plan, and you've gathered samples of the curricula you're considering, you're ready to use the tool. Each of the 10 topics has a question or two that you'll want answered before determining your choice. Although the goal is to be able to answer yes to each of the questions, you'll want to place the most weight on the answers for topic number 1, theology, and topic number 2, which connects to scope and sequence. And that's because while you can adjust the curriculum to meet the other criterion, the first 2 items are the foundation upon which a strong curriculum is built. So let's get started. Topic number 1 is theology. All curriculum is written from a particular theological perspective. That is so important, I'm going to repeat it. All curriculum is written from a particular theological perspective. I want to give you just a really brief example to help you know what to look for and what I mean by that. So we're just going to take a look at 2 different curriculum. One is called 252 Basics, and it's from Orange. Now it focuses on some basic truths, and it's based on Luke 2:52. So the focus of their curriculum is to have students be able to say, I need to make the wise choice, I can trust God no matter what, and I should treat others the way I want to be treated. Now that foundational perspective affects how the Bible story are approached in 252 Basics, and it organizes its content into a different biblical virtue each month. So let's contrast that with Dwell. Dwell is from Faith Alive Resources, and it's a reformed curriculum, and it focuses on God, not biblical heroes or morals or us. And it considers every part of God's story as one part of the big story of God's redemption of this fallen world through Jesus Christ. So that plays out in the curriculum in this way. The focus of Dwell is to awaken kids to God's invitation to find their own place in God's story, to live into it and out of it for the rest of their lives. The way we tell God's story matters, whether the learners are 3 or 103. So when you're considering a curriculum, pay attention to the theology with which it is written and ask, does the curriculum keep the focus on God? Is salvation presented as a gift of grace? The next big area is scope and sequence. So scope and sequence refers to the selection of stories included in a curriculum and the order in which they're presented. Now, a thorough scope and sequence will include a broad span of Old and New Testament stories. So stories with major themes like creation, fall, redemption, restoration will be told more than once and with greater complexity as children age their way through the curriculum. So let's take, for example, the story of Abraham and Sarah. It's going to be repeated frequently over the years, going a little deeper each time. So a preschooler will learn that they belong to God, just as Abraham and Sarah belonged to God. And then as the children age, each time they hear that story again, they'll learn more about what it means to be included in God's covenant and to be called God's people. When what you're teaching is pieced together from week to week or even year to year, there will be gaps in what the kids are learning, and you'll miss out on the opportunity to build upon their understanding. So we really encourage you to find an excellent curriculum and then stick with it for a number of years. So check the scope and sequence by asking, does each year build on the previous so that learners will have an opportunity to hear a broad span of both Old and New Testament stories while hearing stories with major themes, creation, fall, redemption, and restoration, more than once and with greater complexity as they age their way through the curriculum? The next area involves learning styles. The best curriculum doesn't take a one-size-fits-all approach to learning, but it ensures that there are activities that meet the need of a variety of learning styles. Research tells us that people learn differently. The theory of multiple intelligences, which was developed by Dr. Howard Gardner, says there are 8 learning styles. Earth-smart learners learn best when activities are connected to living things and nature. Body-smart people learn best by using their bodies and through hands-on activities. Music-smart people learn best through activities connected to music, and word-smart learners love language and listening and reading. Number-smart learners love problem-solving, logic, and patterns. Self-smart learners like to think things through and learn independently. Learners who are people smart learn best when they interact with others, while people who are picture smart learn best by visualizing concepts. If what we teach is going to impact kids, we need to pay attention to how we teach. So when you're considering a curriculum, ask, are the sessions taught using principles of universal design, paying attention to multiple intelligences, and the varying abilities of the learners so that all learners can be fully engaged? Curriculum should be culturally relevant and fun. While the message of the Bible never changes, kid culture does. So a strong curriculum pays attention to kid culture, and it includes opportunities for kids to connect what they are learning about God's story to what they are experiencing in their own lives and in the world around them. Ask, do the sessions connect with children by paying attention to the culture in which kids are living today? God's family is diverse, and the images, languages, and examples included in a curriculum should reflect and celebrate that diversity so that learners will grow in love and appreciation for all of God's children. Such a curriculum will include images that model healthy family relationships in a variety of structures, present lifestyles in different rural, urban, and cultural settings, and avoid paternalism and stereotyping. Ask, do the images and the text reflect diversity in racial and ethnic groups, gender, socioeconomic status, family structures, age, appearance, and abilities? Leader support. For some leaders, creating an environment where faith is nurtured just comes naturally. But for others, it's going to develop over time as they gain confidence through experience and as they get to know the kids in their group. Some leaders may have grown up in a Reformed congregation, while others may come from all kinds of different theological backgrounds. But all leaders benefit from training and support. Ask, do the sessions include background information on the story or a brief devotional to inspire and inform leaders? Are there training resources that are available and easily accessible? To nurture a faith that's deep and wide, a good curriculum creates space for kids to ask questions, to live into God's story as they wonder about God and discover something new. A strong curriculum includes wondering questions that invite learners to dwell in God's story as they consider the people in the story and the choices they made and how God was at work in their lives. So you want to look for a curriculum that includes wondering questions and ask, do the sessions invite reflection by providing learners with the opportunity to ask questions, to wonder about God, and to discover something new? Children should feel called to join God's mission too. Every session should include opportunities for children to live out of God's story as they respond to God's story. So ask, do the sessions invite a response by which learners feel called and equipped to live out of God's story in a way that shows God's love in their community and around the world? Research has shown the significance of the home in faith formation. A strong curriculum provides ways for your church to partner with and support families as they nurture faith by weaving what kids are learning into their daily life. Ask, how does this resource encourage and equip families to nurture the faith of children at home? Finally, we live in a community. And just as the children of Israel were raised in a tribe where families were supported and in which intergenerational faith nurture occurred, so too your church community needs to be a supportive and faith-nurturing tribe for its children. Children need to know and experience relationships within their greater family, the family of God that is their church. Ask, are there opportunities within each session for leaders and learners to develop meaningful relationships with each other? Are the opportunities for interaction with other members of the faith community through guest visits, service projects, celebrations, and more? Well, that's it. The 10-question tool for choosing children's ministry curriculum. We hope you find it helpful as you select the curriculum that's best for your congregation. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to contact us at faithformation@crcna.org. We're here to help.